guys, welcome back to another section on Village Square Talk. We continue to talk about the issues they don't want to talk about. Thank you for your continued support. Believe it goes a very long way in helping us to bring more topics and videos to you. I have a quick one, a few things to say to the obedient movement. We see all the rallies across Nigeria, the enthusiasm, the outpour of love from every facet of Nigeria. In fact, we have never seen anything like this before, and in honesty, have changed the political narrative and system in Nigeria, perhaps, hopefully, Africa. But I think the movement have taken their eyes off the ball and allowed the emotions to drive the movement. This election is not going to be won by wishful thinking or just a eternal need for a change for the young Nigerians whom the country is now working for. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, and share. It will help immensely to continue making these videos, and watch our previous videos to keep up on what the channel is about. Tell us what you think in the comment section. Say your piece. You never know who might be listening. To the Nigerian youth, you are in a war of survival. You are in a war against the old system, and they are very powerful. And we use every asset of the state to try to preserve the corrupt old ways. The biggest threat to your collective desire for a new Nigeria is the Inec, the Independent National Electoral Commission. That is where your focus should be. The system is powerful and must not be underestimated. While you are busy conducting rallies and social media campaign, Inec is cleaning up its registered voters database on a quarterly basis. 44.6% of the new voters registrations are invalid, and 71% of those registered voters are youths. Do you know what that means? The youth revolution is at risk. Not to take anything away from the obedient movement, the Southern and the Middle Belt youths are the core of this movement. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what we hear from the incumbent party, the APC, and their media machine. Though the invalid registrations are across the whole country as alleged by Inec, the bulk of the invalid registrations are mostly of South-South and Southeast. Are you getting the drift? Don't they enter your head? The invalid registrations to total registrations for Bayelsa State, it's at 67.1%. Cross River, 51.3%. Delta State is at 50%. River State, it's 53.2%. Ebonyi State is at 60.1%. Anambra is at 45.2%. Akwa Ibom is at 49.1%. Enugu State is at 43.4%. Imo State is at 43.3%. So does the list go. You see what I'm saying? The movement is losing focus. Maybe doesn't understand the system they are fighting against. This is the movement that have prompted a massive voters registration and woke the average Nigerian consciousness. But they are already being rigged out before the election starts. Why? Simply because it's Nigeria. This might all sound as just numbers, but we are talking about human beings. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of votes that is being put as invalid. So you guys must stay focused and need to understand what the game is. It is time to put all the neck pressing and the fanfare aside and begin to strategize in winning the election. Maybe not all, some neck pressing is needed, but begin to understand the system you want to change, how dangerous it is, and its willingness to use every means, both the state institutions and powers, to maintain the status quo. Yet, weekend rallies are good, but to what purpose? I think these rallies should be used to remind Inec and other supporting institutions to make sure they uphold the constitution of our nation, not to be used by political elites to hold Nigeria to hostage. They need to make sure there will be a country after the election. Nigeria is at a crossroad. This election will either make or break it. Inec did not show confidence or assured Nigerians on how secure its database is. We all saw what happened in Imo State. The inflated number of voters in the Inec database, which happened at Hope Uzodinma's electoral zone, which is the Olo area. Obviously, the man doesn't want to be embarrassed by failing to even win his home turf. But the question is, how did they get into the Inec database to add fake identities to the extent of adding 40,000 fake voters? I'm not saying we should not trust Inec because we don't have any other options. It is the only body that can conduct elections. All I'm saying is that Inec must and will be held accountable. They must understand that the survival of the Nigerian state is at stake here. These 1 million man matches should be directed to Inec, the Nigerian police, and all other supporting institutions that have to play a part in the coming election. They must understand the Nigerian youth have woken up and we hold them accountable. Anyways, we are in a season of accountability. Obi's candidacy has changed that narrative. Everybody must be held accountable. The Nigerian youth across the country are taking back and building a new Nigeria. They must understand that. That is where I feel the obedient movement might be losing focus and must redirect their focus to important issues at stake. The goal must be to win the election, not just to put the corrupt system on notice. You can't build a new Nigeria if you don't win the election, and it is not going to be easy. These corrupt political elites are not just going to give up power. You must beat them at the polls, at the ballot, overwhelmingly that there won't be any room for any form of rigging. And the thought of rigging by the corrupt INEC commissioners will be suicidal. This brings me to my last point, being the PVC collections. From the INEC press release on the collection of PVCs, the same presumed core base of the obedient movement, the Mekano and the Butterfied Boys, have the highest uncollected PVC. This is why I say to put the fanfare aside. This is the time to play politics. The corrupt system has been put on notice. They got the message on the streets. But how would they get the message at the ballot if you are not collecting your PVCs? You see why you must not lose focus. You can't build a new Nigeria without PVC and a vote. It is not late. Go out there and collect your PVCs so you don't put your principal candidates on a goose wide chase and create that future that you're out there on the street marching for. Listen, my obedience, I sincerely love your movement. Your future is in your hands and you cannot fail this time. There's no room for it. You cannot fail the movement and other Africans that are getting inspired by the movement or by the candidacy of Peter Obi. This is a must-win election or you forget your hope for a new Nigeria. I made a video of what you need to do if you have lost your PVC or made double voter registration, which might make your vote invalid. Click on the link at the end of this video or find that video in my description. Your voice have counted in all the major cities of Nigeria. Make sure your vote counts above your voice. Subscribe to the Village Square channel. Click the notification button to be notified once we have a new interesting video. See you guys soon.